Hey there everyone, Video Game Cabinet here, and tonight we're doing a review of Pandora's Tower for the Nintendo Wii. I just played through it for 23 hours and got ending C. Pandora's Tower is an action-adventure RPG hybrid that was released in 2011 for the Nintendo Wii. You play as a young soldier, Aaron, who must save the maiden, Elena, from a disease that is turning her into a monster. To do so, you venture through 13 towers and retrieve pieces of monster flesh to feed Elena, and this will reverse the disease. The towers are chained together and held above a giant rift in the earth known as the Scar. The story and setting of Pandora's Tower is pretty imaginative, and the art style is nice. The vibe of the game reminds me of the Team Eco games on PlayStation 2, but with much more complex gameplay, which is not always a good thing. Pandora's Tower is a beautiful looking game with a lot of interesting concepts that probably could have worked better with a longer development cycle to polish off the rough edges. There are many aspects of the gameplay that are obscure, frustrating, and tedious at first. However, I found myself still enjoying the game a bit overall once I got the hang of the controls and learned the nuances of how to progress further. The time limit in the dungeons and Aaron's low health bar were tough to deal with in the beginning. But once I learned to grab flesh from low-level monsters and then go back to the observatory to feed Elena to extend the dungeon timer, my sense of progression became more clear. If you invest enough time into grinding enemies, leveling up, and upgrading your weapons, the game does flow more smoothly. This is essential to subside the difficulty of the boss battles somewhat. The boss battles themselves look cool, but take far too long. Part of the problem is that the motion controls can be rather finicky. I got the hang of them after enough practice, but sometimes my commands would refuse to cooperate for no apparent reason. This got very frustrating in the heat of battle many times. Despite the imperfect motion controls and some cryptic game design elements, I still liked Pandora's Tower a little bit overall. It is flawed, but there is a good sense of artistry here. I think the developers could have used more time to make this into something really special, but the project may have been rushed. As it stands, it's just okay. I'm giving Pandora's Tower a 6 out of 10. And that is my review. I've been curious to play this game since I heard about it back in 2011. I believe it was a late release Nintendo Wii game. Came out late in the system's life cycle, and it looked cool, and it seems like it would be a hidden gem. I picked it up about a year and a half ago, finally, and then finally played it this past week or so. And it seemed like it would be a hidden gem for the system, but it turned out to just be okay. Like, it does have problems, especially at the beginning, like the low health bar, and like, it's kind of weird. Even the save system, there are checkpoints in the game, but like, if you like shut the system off, or if you save and then you progress further and reload a checkpoint and then shut the system off, it'll reload you back to when you manually saved at the observatory, and that's kind of funky. Little stuff like that gets a little bit frustrating. There's also a freeze glitch that is very infamous in the game that happens very late game. Fortunately, I ran into the freeze glitch at a couple other times, and I ran into it right after making a save, so it didn't really hurt me at all. And then later on when I get to the big one where I think you enter towers, the Dawn and the Dusk Tower at the end of the game. When you go in, and then when you go in, go back to the observatory after leveling up, and then go in a second time, I believe that's when the glitch is supposed to occur. And it happened to me once, and then when I reloaded my save file and went back to enter those dungeons again from the observatory, I just kind of let the game sit for like 10 seconds, and then I was able to enter the towers without the glitch. I don't know. I've read some stuff online about doing that. Just so I mean, I was able to work around the glitch, which is great. But you know, it's got other problems just with, you know, just a little bit of obscurity and crypticness with you know, some of the level designs, and like how you have to like, there's a time limit on the dungeons, which is a bit frustrating at first, but like you just go get certain pieces of flesh from the monsters and then bring them back to Elena to extend your timer. It's a little bit annoying, but you get used to it, so it's okay. And some of the sword play and the whip action is cool, but like I said, during some of the boss battles, like the controls can be a little bit finicky. I mean, I got used to them. I got them to work for me most of the time, but sometimes I was like, oh, just ready to pull my hair out. So motion controls in general can be kind of annoying, you know. But yeah, so overall, I'm giving this game, you know, a marginal thumbs up. You know, it's okay technically. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. You know, it could have been better. There was a lot of potential here for something really special, but I think it was a little bit rushed in development, you know, and you know, the motion controls, sometimes they can be finicky and all that. But yeah, so I'm glad I played it though. Glad I beat it, got it off the backlog. There are many more endings, but I don't see myself going back to unlock those. I got ending C, which was I think it's one of the bad endings, but I watched the best ending on YouTube, and that was kind of cool, but I'm not going to go back and unlock all the shit to do that myself. Playing the game once and getting one of the endings was enough for me, so... Anyway, so that's it. That's my review of Pandora's Tower for the Nintendo Wii. 6 out of 10. And have a good night.